Previously on Sailing Bohemia. We sailed to Puerto Refugio, the most northerly destination of our trip into the Sea of Cortez. We took a dinghy ride to meet our new neighbours, and we sailed south, reaching the wild but beautiful Ensenada Alcatraz. Wow, well, we just had one of these cells of thunderstorms pass almost directly above us. It's the type of lightning that just lights up the sky all around, and the thunder is so close, it rattles your chest. You can feel it shaking your bones. It's one of those moments where you just realize how small and insignificant you are compared to the power of nature.
Well, it's a very pretty anchorage here. We've stayed for 2 nights, but Mother Nature wasn't kind to us. On first night, we had a massive lightning show and a storm coming from the east, which lasted about 4 hours, all the way to the early hours of the night. And last night, we had these elefantes coming over, which is the western winds coming from the Pacific Ocean. And they are quite vicious, so from about midnight all the way till 6 a.m. we had 35 to 40 knots of wind howling through the anchorage. So I think it's time to leave today. Need to catch up on our beauty sleep.
Feels odd to have the Dodger back together without the wind whistling through it anymore. It got so strong last night that we had to put both the panels back in that we removed. We think it was probably gusting to 35, maybe even slightly more than that. We didn't have the instrument, so we don't know, but fortunately all our canvas has stayed attached this time around. I think we have more of this to look forward to in Bay of LA, where we're headed. So we're in the Bay of LA and really very close to Los Angeles Village. So looking forward to getting there. I think bay sailing is really for me. The wind is being funneled by these little mountains around here, and the water is like a mill pond, flat, calm. Yeah, beautiful. Give me a bay any day. The only town for miles around, Bahia de Los Angeles is a hub for sailors spending hurricane season in the northern Sea of Cortez. The bay itself is relatively sheltered from the summer southerlies and has a few islands and anchorages to explore.
Well, we found that the small desert town had everything we needed to resupply and prepare for another month of remote living.
Okay, so we are here in Bahia de Los Angeles. LA, baby. Back in LA. Can you believe it? This is quite a different LA than the one we left behind in California. We're here to stock up on food and find some internet if we possibly can, and get some diesel and propane. So we're headed into the village just behind me to see what we can find. Hopefully we can get all of these things and get back out onto the remote bays and islands again. We're going to be off the grid for probably another 6 weeks after this. There is a hurricane kind of following us up the Pacific side of the Baja, so just behind these mountains here. In a few days it's going to be about level with us, so it should be far enough away that it's not going to cause too much impact on us here, but it's only going to take a small change in course and we may feel the effects, so we're not taking any chances. We want to be fully stocked and ready to go if needs be.
News of the weekly food truck arriving got us up early the next day in search of mold-free vegetables. Unfortunately, the low tide and muddy beach conspired against us and made for a tough landing.
Wow. I don't think these tides are suitable for what we want to do. We don't want to be coming here on a low tide like this. The dinghy's still here. There are occasional times in our cruising when I do miss having a car parked right outside.
And of course everything was rushed because we forgot to take the anchor and the tide is rising, so we only had like half an hour in a store to rush back so that the dinghy doesn't float away. Provisioning done for the next 10 days while we are in the area and exploring. I've got to admit, provisioning in this heat, it's becoming a challenge. I mean, it's 9:30 in the morning and it's already 98 degrees. So, you know, early bird catches the worm. That's the new rule.
Hope you didn't buy any worms.
So this is where the magic happens.
Hopefully there's going to be Wi-Fi that's fast enough to upload this, or you may never see it.
So this is what happens when you have no internet for 7 weeks. We've been sitting here for hours, not talking to each other, barely looking at each other, and typing away.
Episode 29, 21% uploaded. Maybe another 4 hours to go.
Well, plenty of time to scroll away. Who can scroll the fastest? Yeah.
I've reached the bottom, I don't have many friends. Okay, so we are leaving Los Angeles Village right now. We've done everything we needed to in town. It's been a quick turnaround, a couple of days. The wind and the swell is really starting to roll in. It's an exposed anchorage. So we're getting down to find some better shelter and hopefully some whale sharks. We're going right now to La Mona, which is supposed to be very beautiful and very well sheltered from these southerly winds that we're getting.
Well, it was good while it lasted. I think we are losing the wind and we've done about half a mile out of the 4.5 miles we need to go. Time to turn on the iron spinnaker.
Sadly, yes. Oh well. Good half a mile. Brilliant sailing for half a mile. We're really powered up. and then it's just suddenly lost. Oh, hang on, it's coming, it's coming. Come on, we can get a mile out of this.
I'm on the whale sharks watch. Haven't seen any yet, but apparently when I see a lot of birds and a lot of commotion, that's what it is. So I think we will have to immediately jump in a dinghy and motor over there and jump in with them and swim with them. They are like 55 feet long, so let's see how that goes. Let's hope that I'm not gonna be their canapé.
Well, it was a super fast sail. We kept the wind with us even after it calmed down a bit, and we thought we'd lost it in the middle. And we're already here. It's been about 40 minutes, maybe a bit less. The ocean has been flat. If only every sail was as quick and as pleasant as this. I could do that again.
Okay, I'm not quite sure how this is gonna go down because we came here for one reason, to avoid the rolliness of the previous anchorage. And look at that here. I think it's even worse than the previous anchorage. Tom is quite sensitive to rolls at anchor. So let's see what he's gonna say when he comes here.
Tom is quite sensitive. Tom is quite sensitive to losing the boat. He wouldn't like that at all. So he tends to be quite fussy about where he drops his hook.
See, as I said, fussy and sensitive.
Two sides to every story.
So what do you think? It doesn't look that great, right?
No. For me, the houses kind of spoil it. I mean, we've been out in like backcountry without seeing another soul for so long that it feels weird to be anchored off a beach.
With houses on it.
Oh, there's a panger coming to see us, I think.
Yeah, maybe you ripped the netting after all. To get here, there was about 5 buoys. We didn't know what they were, so we were going very carefully and quite close to see whether there was any nets, but we didn't see anything. So we just went through.
We didn't catch anything.
We didn't catch anything, so.
Fortunately, the captain got over his sensitivity issues, and we settled in for a relaxing evening and a beautiful sunset. Join us next time on Sailing Bohemia, where we continue our tour of Bahia de Los Angeles in search of whale sharks. Fingers are pointed at the maintenance department as our windlass breaks down again.
Suspicion is it's probably this contactor here.
And we sail to Ensenada El Quemado, where we check out an abandoned resort and are treated to a rare close-up with a loggerhead turtle. Special thanks in this episode go to our newest patrons for their kind contributions to Bohemia's booze budget. Thank you to Jaylin and Scott from Washington, who are planning to sail the Sea of Cortez in their Catalina. And thank you to Mark and to David from the Barbary Coast Boating Club, where we have really fond memories of cruise-ins and cruise-outs in the San Francisco Bay. Thank you so much, and here is an extra special beer just for you. If you enjoyed this episode, then please don't forget to tell YouTube all about it by leaving a comment, giving the video a like, and subscribing to the channel. See you next time!